Hey guys, welcome back to my Hollow Knight Steel Soul series. Today, since it's episode 3, I thought we would go and get the Mothman Cloak and Vengfly King. So, before jumping into the well, I thought I'd go take the tram before realizing that would take me farther away. So I just jumped in and started heading out to the Green Path entrance. But on the way, since I remembered that Grubfather gives you money, I decided to go get some money from Grubfather. So I did that and danced, I guess you could say, with the grub for a little bit, because I honestly think that they're very adorable. So on the way down to the Green Path entrance, I got caught on the ledge and then crashed because I don't understand the mechanics of this game very well. But I went over and remembered hearing of this skip where you fireballed behind the podium thing for the boulder to instantly die, so I tried that multiple times and it didn't work, sadly, and it ended up costing me a life. So there's the second boulder that you have to do done. On the way down, I was highly cautious because Green Path acid scares me until you have the cloak, or then it can be even more terrifying because you can accidentally dash in, and if you don't have the wings, that makes life really hard for you. As you'll see throughout pretty much the entire video, I'll be chasing birds to try and kill them for essence. Well, not essence yet, but for soul, because in Steel Soul, I like to have soul on me at all times, so I'll be chasing a lot of birds in this episode. So yeah, that guy survived a fall. As you'll see throughout today's video, I will be very cautious and lost most of the time because I don't know Green Path the best as opposed to Crossroads when it comes to the map thing. I also attempted a fireball skip and failed it, so I first off lost some more health, but got the mosquito and attempted to do a mosquito clip. No, not clip, but skip. And for the first time in ever, I'm pretty sure, I actually succeeded, and that ended up getting me very, very lost. Also, as you'll notice, I have a knack for losing health for some reason, and not having time to heal. Also, as you can tell, I struggled a lot with this. Yay! So, throughout this room, I'm fairly certain I didn't have anything very eventful happen. I just collected some soul and just continued through the room. And I'm pretty sure it was the same with this room too. Other than, of course, a few more enemies. And me trying to look at the map, because I don't remember my way very well through the Green Path. But then I remembered that Cornifer is on the way that you're supposed to go, and not the way where you skip. Also, I was terrified here because of the amount of mosquitoes. I thought that this was the way I was supposed to go before falling down and realizing that it was the Thorns of Agony room and that I wasn't going to do that yet and couldn't either. So I just continued on going down and around to try and find my way to the Hornet fight. At this point, I was legitimately thinking to myself that skip was almost useless, but that's also because I don't know the any percent route or any of that, so I didn't know where I was actually supposed to go for that, because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to save you a ton of time. And here, I paid for the bench and sat on it, even though I didn't have anything to do with anything to gain off of sitting on it. The reason I mainly sat on it was to bench warp after the fight, if I had to, but in the end I ended up not having to. But I ran out of recording time at the end of this, so at the end you'll notice that I just start leaving. That's for me to go back to the bench and end off the episode, but I didn't have enough recording time, or at least in my head I didn't. So I just ended the video there and just got back to the bench. So, yeah. As you can tell, as I'm on my way up, I have no care for any of the enemies whatsoever for some reason. And I got severely lost here like I do in every single run where I come by here. Here I noticed a grub, which is why I was jumping so much. And when I noticed I couldn't go anywhere for the 5th time, I left to go fight the Moss Knight, because that's the only way around I know. Also, I was very glad to have the lifeblood hearts at this point, because I would have taken a ton more damage to my permanent hearts if I hadn't. So there's Moss Knight done. And I just continued on to, first off, try and hit a nice little wall that does nothing, and continuing on up just to find Hornet. Also, as many of you have probably noticed by now, the very bottom of the screen is cut out. That's because the tripod for my camera was not working very well, so I just had to work with what I had. And I'm sorry for anyone who really hates the fact that you can't see the bottom. But as I walked into this room, I learned what was happening, and collected some soul and healed up, because I knew that Vengfly King was here. And remembered how annoying he is to fight for like the 5th time. As I proceed to miss almost every single one of his attacks I can hit. And there's Vengfly King done. More sweet money to buy whatever I'm gonna buy with it. Up here I talk to Zote, because I don't do Zote, like, ever. And got the money and continued on to go down and see if I could find Hornet, because on my last Steel Soul run I actually died to Hornet. And I remembered that this way led down there. So being very cautious, because I knew that there's a ton of enemies down here, I continued on and just looked for Hornet. And as you can probably clearly tell, I found her. I'm going into this, I was highly terrified, because my last Steel Soul run, and I had to end it due to Hornet. And so this time I went in there heart pounding. Yeah, it was actually quite successful this time, luckily. Or at least in my books it was successful. Also, just before the fight, you'll notice I pulled out my map, because I was debating whether or not to show off this neat glitch thing where you can walk right past Hornet. But I decided not to, because that just breaks progression. So I just continued on fighting Hornet, very terrified half the time. Another one I'm probably going to be terrified for, or another few, will be probably Soul Master and Broken Vessel. Because those ones, like, for Soul Master especially, like, I'm pretty sure I died to him like 10 to almost 20 times in my first playthrough. And for everyone who doesn't know, this is like my second actual playthrough, aside from my other Steel Soul, because I've just been working on maxing out my first playthrough. So, seeing as this is technically my second or third playthrough, I'm still terrified of both of them. You know, I could probably say the same commentary for every boss fight as I did with Grezmother, and it's using soul, hitting, using soul, healing, using soul, getting hit, using soul. So here I collect Mothwing Cloak, very proud of myself, and then attempt to leave as per everyone else does it, because I forgot of the one thing where the dreamers just scream at you. And that's pretty much it for this episode. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, because that's how I know that people are actually really watching and liking the videos, and have a nice